Maybe.
I was gonna stream tomorrow. Maybe Sunday, Chris. Depends on how long I go for, man. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm an old fucker, generic white man. I remember how big the Halo machinimas were. How much did it make Inside Out to? It's weird because I also think about this too, going back to the movie for a second. Like, he's gone, he's back. Man, this could be now. So it's hard. What an elaborate scheme just to stir up drama for the podcast. You know, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be another shit show if it comes out with everything on stage. Yeah, no Phil tonight. No. No Phil. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, if this all can be like taken at face value, then why did you do it? Like I was saying this before, but didn't go into much detail. You have been given more chances than I believe anyone on this platform, which is shocking for a fat dude. Because I'm just saying it. This is not me. Woe is me. You guys know I don't do it. You're judged quicker. People don't turn a blind eye as easy. And so it makes it even more amazing that you got the chances that you did, Boogie, and you still fucked it up. And if there's nothing else to it, ain't to always be, a conspiracy theorist here, but I've been doing this for a very long time, so yes, I do doubt everything. And you squandered probably the final chance that you'll get. And the most amazing thing is, the biggest snitch on yourself for your cancer was you. Because in your first video, you said something else will probably kill you first. Thank you, Vivid Gamer. I appreciate it. And then you're sitting there calling Coffee Still a liar. Like, what was he lying about? Then you said, he says right in the phone calls that I'm recording you. And you're really going to say that you didn't know? No, I don't think it would have made any difference. I think I would have gotten the same amount of ire, no more ire. Like, if I did the same thing, I don't think it would have been any different for me with that. I don't think it would have been any different for me with that. I think I would have been judged the same on that. Well, he's actually worse than Keffels, because, I mean, yeah, it was obviously extremely awful what she did, and all the hatred she gets, she deserves, because she made it like she was a victim and just used the money to do basically whatever the fuck she wanted, including put it up her nose. But you hid behind cancer. And if it is what it is, and there's no asterisk in any of this, you are not, after this all subsides and people stop giving a fuck, I just can't picture you coming back from it at this point. I can't. Listen, play intro guys far while staring into the camera.
You're getting Grandpa excited.
Yes, I do. You get it with stuff your nipples. Stuff your nipples.
I'm farting. Stick my ass. Stuff your nipples. Stick my ass. Stuff your nipples. Stick my ass. Well, I'm farting. Please believe me. Stuff your nipples. Stuff your nipples. Well,
this is why that.
Well, I'm farting. Stuff your nipples. Stuff your nipples.
Yeah, happy 50th.
Well, I'm farting. Party your face. Stuff your nipples.
This is why that app is dangerous. It's like anything I think of, I can make it to a very odd reality. And then what I did is I also have a Stems app on my phone. And I found this video of Stanley Kendall someone made after he died, from the TCAP community, of course. And I stripped out because they had like Batman music in the background. So I stripped it out and took out the clips that I wanted. It actually sounds good. Like, it doesn't sound like it was stripped with AI. Thank you, Vila. I appreciate it. You love men with tits. There you go. Download link to what, Avi? My song? Let me there's a couple other things I want to do to it too. Let me finish it first. Like, that was just done as a joke, and I'm like, because I'm actually doing a remix of Common's Wise Up with a beat that I'm making. It's not that there's a lot of people who I see in the comments. I wish there was a way I could clarify it better. I can't say remake because it's not a video game. They're like, I see people saying, who cares? You're just mixing a beat together with someone else's voice. And I'm like, no, I need the beat. Your vest is super full up, Mario. How do you know your messages are disappearing? What's up, Karasu? How are you? Who is Trump's new vice president? I heard Peter is here. That's a face I haven't seen in a while. Holy shit. Technically, it's not a face, but you get my point. Yeah, I think some people here, I mean, there's obviously, yes, Peter, I remember you. I remember you all the time when Intro Guy was here. There was someone else I was thinking of. The guy named Wyatt, he used to be here. I wonder what I pissed him off with. You're playing with Common this weekend. Shit. I wish I had it. I just put the vocals. That's awesome, dude. Common, the album's great, too. I like that these dudes who do like boom bap, they're not trying to be 1995. They're actually progressing. One thing I am getting tired of, and even though I made some beats without drums, is the drumless thing. I think drums need to come back. JR's Gam, how are you? I see more people coming in now. I guess people realize that Low-Cow is a nothing burger. Yes. Unless there's something else that yeah, it's fun, man. I mean, look, the Koala app is a sampler. It's not it. Unless there's something else that yeah, it's fun, man. I mean, look, the Koala app is a sampler. It's not it's not a toy, and it's not like pressed to make a beat. It's not some AI app. It's literally a music tool, as if you were using Logic, or and you could sequence an entire song in there too. It's not like the Common track I'm working on and another beat I'm working on. Once I'm ready to like really finish them and be super granular, I'll fart in your face and I take it and I put it in Acid Pro, and when I eventually have time to learn Logic, I will put it in there to stem it out and I stem it out in Koala, and then I put it into my other software and then do the final mix on it and add drops, and maybe I'll add melodies. And you're getting older, but I'll teach you how it works. Yeah, I know. I'm an old fuck, huh? Thank you, Maple Wolfie. Yeah, I know, and that's fine, dude. I didn't build an audience on music, JFE. Going more into, I know I answered your super chat before, and it's like, there's some people here that are really into RPGs from Square Enix. Doesn't mean that they're bad. I'm sure they're fantastic. They're just not my thing, Happy birthday, spam that soundboard, you sexy man. I should have did Stanley Kendall's samples to this. It's not like they would have sell it, so this would have been more fun. That's like one step away from Guile's theme for being great for everything. That wasn't really a spam, was it? I'm sorry.
Your shoulders.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Look here. Look, listen.
My bathroom stories. That video seemed to bring a lot of people in my dating stories video. Which was, I was such a fucking bum with that. I just recorded on the Logitech mic. You could tell too. It sounded like I was recording it in a bathroom while a gorilla was licking my ass. Why? The last part was not necessary. Yeah, and they think that I'm just looping shit. That's funny too. I actually kind of take that as a compliment. Once in a while, it is true. I'll admit it, where it's like, if I get a sample, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I could chop the shit out of this, but it would be a disservice. So what I do is, you know, then you blend in the drums and stuff like that, and it's not that you're just looping the sample and slapping drums on. Now, in 2003, I did that. But I didn't know any better. But now, no. It's, you know, side shading and mixing and compressing and listen, slap my drum. Twisters, like the movie? God, he passed away, I forgot his name. There was Helen Hunt, and there was Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton just came to me. I remember that was a big deal because that came out in like '93, and it had the crazy CGI. What's up, Patrick? How are you? Philip Seymour Hall. Oh yeah, he was in that, wasn't he? He was in that. But yeah, back then, what's up, Jostler? How are you? Thank you. Back then, football as well, man. It was a big deal because CGI. I remember Forrest Gump was a big deal because they had CGI and they had it like Tom Hanks. Why am I yawning? Happy birthday, bro, brother. You're getting grandpa excited. Yeah, because I'm old as shit. You're another one who's been a member for almost 3 years. And they did some stuff with CGI back then that was like unheard of in Forrest Gump. Happy birthday, Dickers, yeah. No, I never, you know what, there was only one, the irony is there was only one opportunity for me to learn manual, and that was Intro Guys. He used to have a Toyota Tercel that was his first car, and his dad, I kind of get it. That was the only manual I had access to, and he's like, yeah, my dad doesn't want you to break it, so. No, it wasn't. Twister was definitely like maybe 94. Twister, now I have to look it up. Twister movie. Not the fucking 96? Really? Alright, you're right, I'm wrong. Why do I remember seeing that way earlier? Okay, whatever. Alright, yeah, shit. Like, that was the year that I remember watching. Well, 95, I watched 7. I remember having 7 on Laserdisc. Think, and the big deal about that Laserdisc was it had Dolby Digital on it. Which now knowing what I know about Laserdisc, because Laserdisc tech isn't digital, but it did have the ability to have, it had an RF out, which made it even fucking weirder for Dolby Digital. Think about it, how weird is that?
Nope. Well, it's complicated. Nintendo.
Jack Black has always been a pretty controversy-free actor, but that doesn't go for everybody he works with, and now due to one big controversy, he's out for one of his biggest projects. Jack Black, along with being an actor, is also a musician, where since 1994 he's had the band Tenacious D with his partner Kyle Gass, and the two have done over 1,000 shows together. While Jack Black has had failures with, like, the 2006...
A&D diaper rash ointment.
Hello. I come from a time in which the term "Hey, all Scott here" is banned. Cloud gaming has taken over. Millions are better off because of it. Companies are less wasteful with their products. But I want a box with Mario on it, damn it, so we have to stop this! Modern gaming. Something stinks! The cool thing to do when you're 24 is to act 40. Isn't this so much better? Everybody misses the good old days. Just ask an exception. Man, remember when things were worse? I miss that. You just always look at things from your youth with more affection. Honestly, for anybody saying that this new game is worse than this old game from back in the day because it lacks the magic that one had, is that because you played that game as a kid and you always have better memories of it, so no matter what this newer one does, it'll never be better in your eyes? Or is it actually because that new thing is of lower quality? In some cases, yes. But no matter where the video game industry goes in the future, it's hard for people to evolve their tastes and accept that this is just how things are now. When the Xbox One was initially revealed in 2013 to require an internet connection to function properly, guess who was pissed? I can't recall a single person defending Microsoft here. The idea your video game console needed to have an internet connection for single-player games was preposterous. Now it's a footnote. What people were once enraged about with video games have slowly evolved into something you just come to expect. I mean, Nintendo once said they thought online multiplayer was a scam. Downloadable content? No! And now some of Nintendo's games completely depend on online multiplayer and DLC. Companies change, and that's fine. New ideas can be scary, and when they do come with legitimate downsides, it's hard to move on. What's next on the chopping block for video games? When corporations hate physical media, they want us all to move to digital, trying to make physical as less appealing as possible. I think they've been spitting in my games. They control everything with the digital copy of the game. You can't easily return or trade that in. You don't have to produce and ship the games. It's everything they've ever wanted in a 400 gigabyte file. Yikes. Oh my god, they've been releasing digital-only consoles with no means of playing discs, and they only have this much storage? Games take up so much space and require such powerful hardware that's so expensive it requires a TV. You don't have that with movies. At this point, you just need a TV. So what if I could play a game like a movie on Netflix or play a song on Spotify? I don't download it. I stream it through the internet. It's the perfect idea. I would like to introduce the future of gaming. Game streaming is an obvious step to take. I mean, pretty much all of the forms of entertainment are consumed via streaming, so naturally, Mario's next. I'm not opposed to the future. I'm just scared shitless about it. Gaming isn't like other mediums. It's honestly the most unique, so you can't really take what's happening with movies and music and apply it to video games. It may make sense on paper, but it's way more complicated than that. You can't ask a dog to fit into a cage too small for it, or ask a cat to be perfectly streamable online without any latency or lag. So, what is game streaming? You've come to the right place. So you play a video game on your PlayStation 2. That entire game is included on the disc you bought and was built to run on the console's hardware. Makes sense? This is what the guy at Best Buy said. The problem is, as the years go by, the hardware ages more and more. There's more impressive technology being pumped out. And while new games come out for these old systems and they look better than last year's games, that's because the developers were learning how to use the hardware more effectively. But eventually, you just have to upgrade things. You can't keep milking the same 5-year-old hardware, which is why we got the PlayStation 3 and the cycle continues. These are all computers at the end of the day. If you pry them open, you'll find, specs. With game streaming, theoretically, you don't have to worry about buying any of this beefy, expensive hardware. All you need is an internet-capable device. Playing these massive, beautiful games requires tons of horsepower. They can't just run on anything. They need to run on some kind of supercomputer, so the image is streamed from more powerful hardware to you over the internet. All of this means you could technically get better graphics than on a console via this method. You don't have to buy the expensive technology. It's already all bought and being nursed by the company that's streaming it to you. And they can continue to upgrade and fix things as time goes on. You don't need to worry about installations, downloads, patches, these big-ass consoles taking up space. It's bringing gaming back to the idea that all you have to do is grab a controller and hit play, and the game just starts. It's very much like comparing watching a movie on Netflix to playing it on a DVD. Eventually, you have to upgrade to that Blu-ray player. With Netflix, you just find something you want, hit play, and it loads up through the internet, transmitting the video frame by frame. You don't have to wait to download the movie, thus having to free space on your hard drive. This is pure convenience. And it's so bad! Game streaming or cloud gaming makes me sick, and if it doesn't make you sick, you're already sick. In reality, it's enticing. Pure sadism. And that sadism started in 2010. See, game streaming has been in the works for years, but it officially became a full retail product in 2010 with OnLive, a cloud gaming service hell-bent on going bankrupt 2 years later. Let's test out OnLive. You know, maybe I'm giving cloud gaming a hard time. Maybe you can win me over. With silence. OnLive was the first big cloud gaming platform. Technology was a thing before. The company G-Cluster debuted a game streaming technology at E3 2000. What the hell did that look like? It's through the net. But OnLive was the first major mainstream one. For only $15 a month, you could have the audacity to buy OnLive games. And to use the cloud gaming service, you have to pay a fee per month, and then also have to buy the games you wanted to play at full price separately. They quickly removed this fee because when you go bankrupt 2 years later, you gotta act fast. OnLive was available on computers, smart devices, and the OnLive micro console, which I have here. God, it's so tiny, but it has some heft to it. Don't swallow. The official OnLive controller is honestly one of the nicer controllers I've ever used, and I tried out OnLive back in the day. I played Saints Row the Third on my white 2010 MacBook. This is it now. So, massive props for being the first major cloud gaming platform. Like, for 2010, it worked pretty good. It also wasn't very good, but it was 2010, so it was pretty good. They had lots of big games on here. The Batman Arkham series, LA Noire, Just Cause 2, Bioshock, Assassin's Creed. This wasn't just some oops, I shit my pants at GDC and announced OnLive thing. This was a legitimate service, and from my experience using an underpowered computer on a Wi-Fi connection, it was fairly impressive. You still needed some horsepower to your devices if you wanted the best experience. If you were running this on a smartphone at the time, prepare for... The OnLive app was available on mobile, but really only Android. The iPhone and iPad had an OnLive Viewer app, which let you browse games and watch others playing games on OnLive, but you couldn't play the games on the device. It's the exact reason why I'm an Apple bitch today. I don't want to be overwhelmed with options. I would say OnLive was ahead of its time. For the era in which it was released, I stand by it working quite well and having more than enough support behind it. In fact, I think it was comparable to, and in some cases better than cloud gaming services we see today. But all employees at the company were laid off in 2012, and while the service remained operational, by 2015, it ended with Sony acquiring most of OnLive's assets. You know, Sony also acquired the cloud gaming company Gaikai. They offered demos of full console games streamed via web browsers. And after Sony bought them up in 2012, I think it's fair to expect they had something cooking.
I'm pleased to announce the new streaming game service, PlayStation Now.
Oh god, it talks. PlayStation Now. Now, Sony's answer to
manslaughter. You know, PlayStation Now has been a thing ever since January 2014, and I think after I tried it out here, it finally reached a record 1 user. When the service initially launched, it cost roughly 15 to 20 bones a month based on your subscription plan, and on top of that, you still had to pay for the games, and they were all just rentals. Oh, I'm not paying enough to be PlayStation Now is sort of Sony's way of getting around the lack of PlayStation 3 compatibility with the PlayStation 4, as PS3 games were and still are the main titles offered on the service. PlayStation Now is also available on other Sony devices like the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 3, so I believe that's enough for it to be considered canon. Finally, I can play PS3 games on my PS3 for only $2 for 4 hours of playtime. Yes, PlayStation Now was game streaming but launched with a rental model. The pricing varied amongst games. Some offered the 2 for 4 hour deal.
This is the best we can do. Okay, time is money.
Of course, you could opt for the 6 for 7 day option. I needed some good math today. 8 for 30 days or 15 for 90 days. For Uncharted 2, it would be cheaper to buy 7 copies of the disc, but that pricing wasn't even a standard. Some games were even more expensive, effectively doubling the usual prices. Why wasn't there an option to just buy the game? Why do this whole rental nonsense? Why was it so expensive? It was cheaper with online. If anything, it would have made more sense if the small startup companies' prices were more expensive and the big conglomerate could cut a deal. What's the premium being paid for here? Like, what happens when I stream a game? PlayStation Now was initially a huge bust, but as the years went on, it took on a new life as a better service. For only $60 a year, you get access to all games on the service, no rentals, no need to purchase the games individually, 1 fee, you get everything. The service still focuses on PlayStation 3 games, but there are a few PS2 and PS4 games available. With these, you can actually download to your system and play without streaming. It's a really great way to play games you're ashamed to outright purchase. I mean, half of the problem with playing Sonic Forces is owning it. But all of these games are available to stream. The PS3 games are only available to stream, so let's give that a try. Okay, pretty good. So here's the thing. My internet connection is okay. I think I'm officially the only person to not say it's either really good or really bad. It's like when the 3DS XL came out, every single review had to brag about how big their hands were. This system is so much better because I have really big hands. Me. But PlayStation Now streaming, it works. It's not perfect. If you're actually looking for problems, you'll find them. Looking at the picture quality, you'll notice it's not as good as playing the game off the actual system. Frame drops, glitches, they happen. But a lot of the time, I sort of forget I'm streaming the game. You just get kind of sucked in and play the game because that's what you're doing. You're playing a video game. Of course, streaming introduces lag. You're receiving an internet signal, and then your controller has to send a command back to the console through Bluetooth, then through the internet, and then the internet has to respond to your input by displaying it within the game. And that's just hitting the jump button. There's gonna be some lag, but with most of the games available on here, you don't need pinpoint precision. Most. I'm a Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 nut. I know what I'm talking about here. This is an incredibly fast-paced game that needs split-second reactions, and when it gets towards the end of a run, I found it painfully difficult to make turns while streaming. Oh, that's PlayStation Now. It can't play Pac-Man. Nobody else with technology from 1840 can. I think my biggest issue with PlayStation Now, though, is that it's still pretty clunky. Now it's described as games on demand. Give demand a second. It's not that bad, but PS4 games take a while to load. Playing a game boots you out of the PS Now app and it appears on your home screen like you bought it. In fact, for every single game I played, I get an email thanking me for my purchase. It thinks I purchased all of these games. They always say $0. Sony, give it up. I'm not replying. The game selection is quite good, though. You get so many of the PS3's best and games from the PS4 that come in and out of being available. The service has definitely improved over time, but when streaming is supposed to be about convenience, PlayStation Now has too many quirks for it to be a legitimate part of the conversation. It doesn't work well for all types of games. It takes a while to load, and then when you're in the game itself, the quality is unpredictable. It depends on how your internet's feeling that day. The only reason why you prefer streaming compared to just downloading is to play these games on PC, where PlayStation Now is also available. Playing PS3 games, which, I'll just throw it out there, if you want to play a lot of PS3 games, I might have found the perfect device. Or if you want to save hard drive space playing PS4 games, why waste 40 gigabytes downloading Neo when you can stream it? Because streaming's for bitches, alright? If you own any console from the past decade, you're pretty used to the idea of deleting files. like Tears of the Kingdom to get downloaded over 1 million times. They were all half a week and like 10,000 people downloaded. I was wondering if it would just been like whatever, but a million, that's incredible. That was something they did leverage in the court documents. I don't
Stop! Stopping!
I'm not stopping.
No, Ryan! Ryan, keep stopping!
Where is this?
Oh, I didn't know that password for that on my Switch. Who knew?
I don't know what's wrong with it.
I don't know.
I already signed up last week for Hulu. It's doing it again.
It's weird.